Yesterday, the last thing what we discussed was the thermodynamic and kinetically controlled reactions. Very few, how the concentrated H2SO4 at different temperature behaves differently to give major and minor products. Similarly, when Friedel-Crafts alkylation is done, then which will be major and minor product at times is what we have seen. Okay. Today, we'll discuss about OP ratio, ortho-para ratio. We don't have to worry about identifying on every compound, but only on halides. So we got to learn how much is the percentage amount of ortho or para that comes on halides. So in generally, whenever we write about a group, and if it is ortho-para direct ring, as the electrophile gets added up at ortho position and at para position, this electrophile will come, and they are the only products which you will get. So Z and E. But what is the percentage amount of ortho or what is the percentage amount of para becomes an important issue. Okay. So one factor we can say is generally if Z is bulky, then para is always major product. Para is always major product. If you don't have any data and if you see that Z is bulky, then usually we can say that para is always going to be major product. What could be Z in this case, like NR2 or NHCOCH3, OCOCH3, any alkyl group, that is CH3, C2H5, and so on. All of this, any form of alkyl groups, right? Now, these are the various Z compounds, which we can easily decide on the basis of their bulkiness. Because they are bulky groups, they usually prefer para to be the major product. Or in short, thermodynamically, para will be more stable because they would have less repulsions and more stability is attained. But in case of halides, so let me write down that in case of halides, now if I write the same reaction, that if you have any halobenzene treated with an electrophile, the typical electrophile that is taken is NO2 plus to understand the nature. So in case of NO2 plus, I would get two products here, X with NO2 plus X here with NO2, ortho and para product. So what it has been identified is that percentage ortho product, the percentage amount of ortho product, if X is given as fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine, then it is 12%, 30%, 32%, and 38%. This is the percentage amount of ortho which you will get. Correct? Now this comes with the fact not about crowding. This comes with the fact that minus I effect of fluorine would be much more effective at the closest distance here. Right? So therefore, if you have fluorine here, because the minus I effect will be more on the ortho position, less substitution will take place. Para would be the more substitution which will happen. As you come towards iodine, the percentage ortho is decreasing for two reasons. One, iodine is a little bigger in size. Second, still there is electronegativity wise, ortho is much closer compared to that of para. Everyone, I hope you got a point there. So how to determine OP ratio? I hope all of you got an idea. Especially in halides is important. Next factor. Now, in case if we have a strongly activating group, for example, keep writing this first, when strongly activating groups are present, the condition required for reaction becomes milder, and in case rigorous conditions are provided, substitution happens at all possible positions. all possible positions. What does this mean? Suppose if we have OH and conditions are milder, for example, Br2 in the presence of CS2. This is a normal condition. Why it is a normal condition? Because the electrophile generated in this would be very less. We can say that Br plus generated here would be very, very less. So because of the less availability of the electrophile in the solution, the product we would get is only mono substitution, either on the ortho or on the para position. This is para position here. But if we have a rigorous condition as in like bromine in water, Br2 in water is a rigorous condition. Why? Because it would give very electron rich Br plus. We know that. I can write it here. HOBr plus HBr is what it forms when we add Br to water. Okay. And here I can say that this is almost equivalent to H2O connected to this Br plus and Br minus. This is how it is. Correct? Because this is a strong acid, it will give H plus to this. So almost it will come out as H2O and Br plus would be available. So a strong amount of Br plus or large amount of Br plus can be available in this case. That is called the rigorous condition. So this is the rigorous condition. Since the availability is more, and more importantly, the OH is a strongly donating group. So it is strongly activating group. So since it is strongly activating group, we will see bromine gets substituted on all positions here. This would be a white precipitate. Okay, so the product is 2,4,6 tribromophenol. So the substitution happens at all the positions, 2, 4, 6 positions. I can note everyone. Let's see a similar rigorous condition here. We call this as 1. Let us see the second reaction. Phenol and aniline, both of them will have very strong activating groups, like OH and NH2 are very strong activating groups. This on treatment with HNO3, this would be a normal condition. So in the normal condition, the substitution happens at ortho and para position. OH with NO2 here, OH with NO2 here. But if it is in a rigorous condition, that is, when we take concentrated H2SO4, concentrated HNO3 in concentrated H2SO4, this would have very much NO2 plus nitrating. This is a strong nitrating agent, so it will have high concentration of NO2 plus. So when that reacts, we would get OH connected with NO2, NO2 and NO2 at all the ortho and para positions. We know that this is called picric acid. Picric acid, because of such strong withdrawing groups, it would be highly acidic and the pK value is close to 1. Got it? This is what happens in rigorous conditions. Just like alcohols, we can have NH2, amine groups also on benzene, which we call it as anilines. They will also give different products at mild and rigorous conditions. Everyone clear with that? First, I hope phenols are clear to everyone. So in case of aniline, now aniline is even stronger activating group compared to phenol, right? It is so strong that even at the normal conditions, like Br2 CS2 less than 5 degrees centigrade, if the solution is kept even at less than 5 degrees centigrade, it would become so strongly activating that Br will get substituted on all the positions. Br, Br and Br. This is how it will get substituted. So even such less temperature and less availability of Br will also be rigorous condition for NH2, because NH2 is a powerful donating group or powerful activating group. In case if you want to make it less rigorous, or rather I want to make it substitution only on the para position, because even in such normal condition also NH2 is giving 2,4,6 tribromo aniline. In fact, this is also white PPT, 2,4,6 tribromo aniline, which is also white PPT. So point is, how do we avoid this ortho substitution, and what if I want only one mono substitution and para? So imagine if at all our objective is to find only mono substitution here with BR at para position. If this is what you need, then we may have to go through different mechanism here. First, what we do, we take aniline and react that with AC2O in the presence of AlCl3. And we learned already that these are very strongly donating groups, and strongly donating groups does not give Friedel-Crafts reactions, right? Instead, the lone pair itself will get attacked by AlCl3, correct? And later on, OAC will replace that. So the product what you will get will be this NH, C double bond O, and CH3. This is what you will get, right? This is actually acetyl. This is an acetyl group with an aniline. Acetyl with an aniline. So combination is called acetaniline. Okay, so this is acetanilide. Sorry, lean will become lide. Acetanilide. So we will get acetanilide and CH3COOH. Remember AC2O. What is AC2O? Anhydrate form. CH3C double bond O, C double bond O, CH3. This is AC2O. So one molecule got attached with nitrogen, the other molecule will become an acid and come out. So once you get acetanilide, see, acetanilide will have slightly less activating group now. Reason being cross conjugation. So this lone pair can support here and this lone pair can support here, which means the magnitude of donating nature is decreased. Now if you treat this with Br2 in CS2, Br2 in CS2, I told you this is bulky enough that it won't allow ortho substitution initially. It will only give para substitution to the most. So the major product you will get is para substitution. So we will get NH, C double bond O, CH3, and para will get substituted here. Once you get this, again react with NaOH, NaOH aqueous, and heat. So OH minus will attack on C double bond O, remove it as acid. And once the acid comes here, this will become again NH2. So we will get NH2 back here, NH2 Br, and CH3COONA. This is the product that is formed. So you can see that how we are able to generate this product, which is the desired product, right? Not by directly reacting with bromine and CS2. Instead, first converting this NH2 into an acetanilide form, and from there we are making the electrophilic aromatic substitution happening. Amide, this is an amide, right? In the presence of OH minus will get reacted here as nucleophilic addition will take place. You get O minus, OH, NH2. We have learned this as the base catalyzed E1CB mechanism, where this group will close back and NH2 will come out now. So what do we get here? We'll get this as RC double bond O, OH plus NH2 minus. NH2 minus is a strong base. Extract the proton from here. Becomes RC double bond O, NH2 plus NH3. Clear? Now just imagine on this NH side we have this alkyl group, aryl group. Benzene is there here. So what do we get here? We'll get that aniline form here. All of you understood the mechanism? This mechanism you will again come back when you once again when you read it in aldehydes and ketones. So as of now, just think that OH is replacing this entire group and NH2 is forming back here. Okay. Even if you use rigorous condition, this is not a strongly activating group, right, beta? That condition is only valid when you have strongly activating group. No, beta, because this is not a strongly activating group, right? See the condition what I have written. Only for strongly activating group, okay? That is on the logic works only for strongly activating group. On anilines, suppose if you have NH2 and reacted that with concentrated HNO3 and concentrated H2SO4. Now the product that is formed in this case, NH3 plus, we'll get this as NH3 plus NO2 and NH3 plus with NO2 plus NH3 plus NO2. If you see the percentage, it is only 2% here, 51% here, and 47% here. Right. Why this has happened here? See, you are reacting an aniline in the presence of a concentrated H2SO4 solution. This is a base, this is an acid. The first reaction that will take place is an acid-base reaction. So this aniline, which has a basic character, will react with H2SO4, right, and it will become NH3 plus and NH3 plus and HSO4 minus. Got it? So some part of NH2 will always try to become this, correct? And before this reaction happens, there may be sufficient amount of NO2 plus present in the solution, so which may get attacked on ortho or para position. Okay, but most of the part will get deactivated. All right, that's why you have seen significant amount of meta product forming. When NH3 plus is deactivating, you know, you always imagine this way: NH3 plus is present. Now NH3 plus is coming from a weak acid, right? A weak base. This is a weak base. So this will be a strong conjugate acid. This is a strong conjugate acid. So I think all of you are able to recall the ionic equilibrium. So this is a weak base. So this would become a strong conjugate acid. Strong conjugate acid will show good amount of dissociation to get NH2 and H plus. So in a way, solution has NH2 also and NH3 plus also. NH3 plus will drive towards meta position. NH2 will drive towards ortho and para position. That's why there is significant amount of para and meta coming. Why ortho is not coming much? One, NH3 plus is present, right? Then this ortho position would be much closer towards NH3 plus and strongly gives minus A effect. So because it gives strongly minus A effect, the percentage ortho is very less. Okay. And percentage meta has significantly increased. So please remember this case, why meta product is quite sufficient or quite significant in here. Yes, beta, because totally this is a more quantity, right, initially. So as it reacts, more amount of anilinium ion will form. Okay. And this direction will be drawn towards positive side, I mean the forward side, only if the para product is forming. Ortho. Para, na? Yeah, para is formed. Para is formed because you would still have the availability of this aniline. Okay, it is not like only anilinium ion is present. If only anilinium ion is present, then only meta product would have come, no? Ortho para wouldn't have come. But if para is such significant amount, which means in the solution there is sufficient amount of aniline still present. Ortho is less because anilinium which is forming may allow para to form because para is far away, correct? Even in the anilinium form, it can give meta and para. This will give meta also, and this will give para also. Significantly, meta would be more, correct? But what about ortho? Because this group is so close to NH3 plus, due to induction, hardly you would see any meta forming, ortho forming here. Got it, beta? But NH2 which is present, this can give ortho and para, and here also significantly para is more. Here also para is much more compared to that of ortho. So in either in the anilinium case or in the aniline case, para is coming out to be major, right? In anilinium case, meta is slightly major than para, but para is coming from both the cases. If you have NO2 here, if you have benzene here, and I want to convert that into, nitro with C double bond O CH3. This is the conversion I need to make. So what is the best possible way you will think of? Now tell me, between NO2 and C double bond O CH3, which is strongly withdrawing? NO2 is strongly withdrawing, guys, everybody, right? You have seen that. So since NO2 is strongly withdrawing, should I put it first or should I get it next? So I think it is recommended to second step. Very good. So which means what should be the first step? First step should be acylation. So I will take CH3, C double bond O, Cl in the presence of AlCl3. So I will do the acylation first so that I'll get C double bond O CH3. This is anyway meta directory. So I'll react that with concentrated HNO3 in the presence of concentrated H2SO4. Then I will get this, which is the best yield we can get. Okay. So this is the first conversion, everyone. So you must know which is the best possible route for conversions. See the second conversion. Suppose if at all I want benzene to convert into, so correct. So first possible conversion should be CH3Cl and AlCl3. That is Friedel-Crafts alkylation. So when you do Friedel-Crafts alkylation, first CH3 will come. CH3 in the presence of concentrated HNO3 and concentrated H2SO4 or any nitrating agent, you will get this as the product. So this is the best possible route. Third. Okay. Suppose if I want to make it even more refined, okay. Now I say, okay, this is not even the best possible route. Let's say I will try to go with one more way. Suppose if I want this chlorine here, correct? Now tell me what is the best possible route here. This is, I'm trying to get it even more refined than this. See, more refined form is first do acylation, CH3COCl. On acylation, what do we get? We get C double bond of CH3. If you have done alkylation, right, I'll tell you what the problem with alkylation is. When you directly use any alkylation, they might give side product also, right? Polyhalides, polyalkyl groups can also be formed. That I have ignored here. But to be precise, I should have considered that also. Okay. So here if you see C double bond of CH3, this won't have any polyacylation, right? We have seen that in Friedel-Crafts cases. So no polyacylation will take place. And now if you do C double bond of CH3, can the chlorine directly come on para position? It won't. So first what we do, we will take zinc mercury concentrated HCl. What do we get here? This is Clemmensen's reduction. So first you will reduce it to ethyl group. And from here, now if you make a reaction of Cl2 in the presence of iron and heat, or Cl2 in the presence of AlCl3, what do we get? We will get now para substituted product. Everyone understood this point? Please keep writing the conversions.
Sir, in first case.
In the first case, yeah.
So what's wrong with the other way?
NO2 is strongly withdrawing now, beta. So it will be less it will be less activated. It is anyway deactivated. It is strongly deactivated. So reaction rate would be even slower. It's difficult. That's not a very controlled reaction, beta. It's very difficult to identify exactly one equivalent. And whenever we are saying one equivalent, now we always consider that major product would be this, right? Clear? So, but if equivalence is not something which you can't control, then better to do acylation, right? This is even much better way. Maybe I'll put it on para position because again, you might confuse with the crowding also. Yeah. Which one is the best method? First chlorine, then bromine. Okay. Why? Because if you see the rate of EAS, chlorine is better than bromine. We have studied the other day. So first we will do chlorine in the presence of AlCl3. We will get this as chlorobenzene. And from chlorobenzene, again we'll do Br2Fe. So we would get this as chlorine bromine here. That is the product formation. So everyone understood, you have to find out the best possible routes, as you can. Now the next objective, what we will do is to identify the preference of EAS if you have multiple groups. Suppose if you have multi groups, then what is the most preferable position? Okay. Everyone, have you done with the conversions? Preference of EAS in multiple substitutions, multiple substituted benzenes. Right. First, suppose if we already have chlorine here, CH3 here, okay, I have Cl2 and Fe, correct? I have to do EAS. So I have all these positions open, A, B, C, D. So tell me, where does it go? Because B is coming as the para position for CH3, and CH3 is relatively strongly donating than chlorine. So it would prefer to go at the position B here. This will be the major product. Okay. So I guess all of you understood this point. Now, second case, I'll just write it and you have to take the position, everyone. Okay. You just have to take it. Where exactly is the best position? Okay. Take the best preference of ES. Okay. Suppose if you have NO2 and Cl here. Okay. Option A. We keep doing it. I'll write all the questions here first. You have to do it. Just show the preference. What is the best preference? Next. NH, C double bond O, CH3 with CH3 here. Next, everyone. I think this much we'll do and then we'll come to the next question. Right. So first one, tell me which is the best preference position here. I'll give the numbering here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Tell me which is the best position.
So 4, sir.
4, right. So with respect to chlorine, either I can go for this one or I can go for this one. Okay. Now tell me with respect to chlorine, this is ortho position. This is para position. So which is more preferred, ortho or para? Just now we have seen OP ratio of chlorine. Go to the OP ratio of chlorine here. How much is ortho which is coming better? It is only 30%, right? So maximum it will get para position, right? Because inductive is more effective in case of halides. So which is a more preferred position, everyone? But NO2 may give withdrawing nature, but the decision of EAs will only lie with the one which is donating or which has at least less deactivating nature. Correct? There may be slight amount of crowding here. So thermodynamically, it may not be very stable product. Clear? But with respect to EAs, you always see the kinetic product first. So kinetically, where it should come? On second position. But it is not the NO2 which is deciding now, beta. It is the chlorine which is deciding now, correct? See, with respect to chlorine, if you write the EAs, it will get here, here, or here, correct? These three are the positions open. Well, 1 and 2 are similar, except that 1 is too much crowded on both the sides. And 2 and 4, if you compare, okay, 1 and 4 are similar. Here 1 is too crowded, so leave that. Now between 2 and 4, 4 would have more minus I of chlorine as compared to that of 2. Now you place it at 2 position or 4 position, positive charge will come here only. Yes, the point is clear. Even if you put it at 4, will you avoid the positive charge to come here? No, right? You cannot avoid that. So where does the NO2 come better? Here, the second position. Next, B1, check. This is NH2 and CH3. First, decide which is strong activating between these two. This one. NHC double bond of CH3 is more activating as compared to that of, both are activating, but this is even more activating. So you have to write the product with respect to this. So there is an ortho product, ortho position here, para position here. Which is more preferable? Para is more preferable. Correct. Next, C. Tell me. We have these three positions open, 1, 2. But the problem is, para is not open. But as the electron density keeps moving here, again, this will be, and this will be effective. So which is the most effective position? The last position. This one is the most effective position. Very important question. Remember, where is the, mono substitution happens best at this position. Least crowding at the para position, far away from OH. See, resonance will not decrease when the distance is increased. Please understand that. Resonance has no effect on distance. Only inductive effect will always have the effect on distance. So far distance is better, no? It would hardly show any inductive effect here. And it does not have any crowding also. The resonance is also best happening. So best position is this one. Guess all of you understood that. Next. D. What about this? So we have a lone pair here. Both can be activated, but which is more activated in this case? This side methyl is there, so that will even help it. Correct. So where would it go? Check that, everyone. Let me know. Best possible position. No, beta, this will only give the most stable canonical because the positive charge will come here first. Sorry. The positive charge will come here first. Okay. And the positive charge will move here. Right, beta? Okay. And next, see the E part.
Why can't we keep electrophile left side of it?
Here there is already a donating group, so that will help in induction. Plus psi effect, no? So that will always help the positive charge to get stabilized. Here there is no plus psi effect. Okay, beta. E part, lone pair donating from here, so it will give ortho and para. So para would be more preferable. Next, F, lone pair donating, and this side there is methyl. Which is more preferred, lone pair? I mean, nitrogen's lone pair or methyl?
Nitrogen.
Right. So nitrogen's lone pair. So with respect to that, we have ortho position and para position, which we should go for. Should go for para. So this is the most preferable position. Next, G.
Sir, in between. Sir.
No, check once again. Suppose with respect to this, if you check out, first of all, decide which is more donating between these two. Methyl is more donating. Remember on benzene, when you have methyl and isopropyl or tertibutyl, which one will be better? Methyl is better because it will have 3 hyperconjugated hydrogens. This has only 1. So this is strongly donating. So with respect to that, we have 1, 2, 3 positions preferable, correct? Now this is very crowded and bulky group. And should we prefer at the ortho position or this or this? We should prefer here because this side and this side is bulky. So this is more preferred position. With respect to the H1, check out, lone pair donating group is from this side. This side it is withdrawing. Okay, so which ring is activated? This ring or this ring?
Right side.
Right side. This ring is more activated. The para position is already busy. So where do we put it here? Ortho position of this. Any of this ortho position. Both of them are equally valid. Okay. Okay. Acha, what if I asked you more thermodynamically stable, then what do you do? This is the preferable EAS, correct? But what if it is more thermodynamically stable? If the question was asked, what is the most thermodynamically stable product? What we are doing is just the preferable EAS. Thermodynamically more stable product would be at this position. Remember that? Because this would have least crowding, because these two are already very crowded groups. If you put one more group here, that will have van der Waals repulsions. Next, J.
Same in case G also.
What beta? Same in the case on J also. Yes. J. NH2 is given, NO2 is given. Which is more donating?
NH2, sir.
NH2. Para is already fixed. So which is the position left now? So only ortho position is left and 2 moles are given. So 2 moles will give you iodine here, NO2. ICl will always have I plus and Cl minus. And that's how it gets combined. Both are same, na beta? But thermodynamically more stable means on heating, where would it have the most stable product? Because you are keeping at some high temperature in that case. Okay. So in that case, kinetic is not preferred. Then EAS is not the important criteria. Criteria is more stable product. Okay. So these are few cases which you must learn. Sorry, these are few cases. Okay. Now, last question. See, write one more question. Suppose if a molecule is given, I mean naphthalene is given here, and we are treating that with CH3Cl in the presence of AlCl3. Okay. And you are getting alpha and beta substitution. This is alpha substitution and this is beta substitution. It can get 2 products, right? Now, what is the best preferred solvents? You have to tell me what are the best preferred solvents in this. Correct? So first CS2, second benzene, third toluene, fourth xylene, fifth nitrobenzene, sixth 2,4-nitrobenzene, dinitrobenzene, sixth phenol, seventh aniline, eighth ester. Correct. So all of these groups are present here. Now tell me out of this, which are the best preferred solvents? First, CS2. Can we prefer that? Yes, CS2 is non-polar. It will dissolve naphthalene, make this also to get dissolved. Both will interact with each other. This CS2 won't affect electrophile approaching that. So no reaction here. So CS2 is preferred. No issue. Next, benzene. Benzene is in fact more reactive than phenol. I mean naphthalene. So what would happen? Even this will also start reacting with CH3Cl. Correct. So solvent will also react. So do we get these products beta? No. So should we prefer benzene? No. Toluene. Toluene is even more reactive. So should we prefer that? No. Okay. Xylene. Xylene is even more reactive. Should we prefer that? No. Nitrobenzene. Yes. Very, very ideal solution, because nitrobenzenes will never ever react with Friedel-Crafts reagents. Correct. So that is the most ideal one that we can prefer. Next, 2,4-dinitro. This is even more ideal. It is even more withdrawing. Phenol, definitely not. Phenols will immediately react with AlCl3. Some other reactions will take place here. Got it? So the availability of Lewis acid won't be there at all. Or the entire solvent only will consume AlCl3. So it won't make any reaction after that. NH2, definitely not, same problem. COOR. COOR won't make any reaction with CH3Cl directly. Neither it will directly react with AlCl3. Got it? So yes, this can be preferred. But the most preferable one, I have ticked it, double tick. That is the most preferable one. So if the option comes ester also in that, then if there is nitrobenzene and ester is given, then which one should you prefer? Then nitrobenzene must be preferred. Multiple correct is given, so you know which of the following are correct answers. These products won't come na beta. For these products, first there should be an acid-base reaction, then electrophile should generate, and then attack should happen. But phenol itself will consume all the Lewis acid. This is a solvent, by the way. So quantity is not an issue. Same problem, na beta. This lone pair will attack on AlCl3, consumes all AlCl3. CS2 have no reaction with AlCl3, no reaction with CHCl3. Got it?
So dude,
that does not have any lone pairs, na beta. Carbon does not have any lone pair to attack AlCl3. Correct? Neither it will accept an electrophile like CH3. Well, out of this, you can see this ring between these two rings. This ring is more activated, right, beta? Okay. This one is deactivated because you have C double bond O group here. So this will pull the electrons away and try to reduce the benzene. So on this para is already filled. So ortho are left. So we'll go for ortho substitution. Suppose if you have pH connected with C double bond O, pH. This side is 1, this side is 2. Got it? And I'm making an E plus attack. So would it attack on 1 or 2? One side or two side? Two side. Right. So ES attacks at second phenyl. Okay, everyone. Next. This I think I've discussed. I think I covered all of the cases, beta.